Hi, Christine here. Just thought I'd give you guys something a little different to look at while I just yap. Today it's just kind of a random rant type thing. I have not brushed my hair or anything, so I'm not much to look at right now. Anyhow, and I'm still trying to get used to the new iPhone that I got. So I apologize for the camera here. And if I'll have to see if this thing ends up going, if the video is upright or if it's going to end up turned on its side. I don't know. So for any people who are purists about having the video the right way, I do apologize. But I just got this phone 2 days ago. The one I was recording on before, I'd have to record videos like 4 or 5 times. Because it just would delete while I was recording, even though there was plenty of space on the phone. I was just having all sorts of issues with it. And then the phone just about died. It stopped taking calls. It just was having all sorts of problems. So I gave up and said enough is enough. And I spent... and got the iPhone 6 Plus, which so far I'm pretty happy with. Just a very, very nice phone. Anyway, I'm just somebody's having me do a Counter-Strike themed mouse mat out of leather for them. And I just lost the leather tool I was using. So, and then my phone dinged. So a little paranoia after my old phone because it would do that and that meant it shut off. Anyway, just a couple things I wanted to yammer about. Nothing really major, but I had been watching some of the ramen podcasts recently from Raw and some other ones, and they have been the last one I just watched, if you check out ramen podcasts, you'll be able to get into them. There's one about dang it, I lost my leather tool I was working with. This little boy, little Buddhist boy, and this I guess had been in the news too, was raised Buddhist, and he's in the South, and pretty much really got piled on by teachers and fellow students and everything else, to the point of where he was getting sick and didn't want to go to school and all of that stuff. And they found out how serious the problems were. And, that stuff went on in my day when I was in high school and junior high school. There were kids that tried to set me on fire, shouting, "Burn the witch," in the school hallway. I had just all sorts of problems. I was beat up quite a lot. And then if I cried about it, of course, being called crybaby. And it just kept going on and on and on. Dang it, where is that tool? Anyway, it saddens me, now, I mean, I'm in my late 40s. I'm going to be 48 in October. And here's Oscar making an appearance. And I guess the thing is I don't understand why this is happening now. Oscar, will you please get off of there? Come on. Nobody wants to see your butt. Anyway, that we're still having these kind of growing pains now is just mind-boggling to me. We're supposed to be beyond this point. This is, with our technology and with our science knowledge. Oscar, I'm going to bop you with this rawhide hammer by accident. Please move. Go. Get. Schnell. Move your butt. No, don't you give me the crabby cat look. Oh, good goddess. Anyway, this is kind of our age of enlightenment here. we're supposed to be able to, you know, get past all of these things. And yeah, we do have our religions, but they're supposed to be about ourselves. They're not supposed to be about taking control and indoctrinating other people and making them feel like shit if they don't agree with your religious beliefs, like I ran into at, you know, at my friend's house while he was in the next room on his deathbed. He died a couple days later. But you guys can look at that one as about feeling like the odd person out in a room full of Christians or something like that, however I titled it. But it just, this shouldn't be happening now. I find this incredibly mind-blowing. You'd think, you know, some of the stuff like what Shirley MacLaine did just kind of drives me a little doinkers. But she set out and kind of opened the pathway to being accepting of Middle Eastern philosophies and accepting of people's different ways of thinking. And we just really haven't learned anything from this, I swear. Especially from the Abrahamic religions. I don't know about Judaism in itself, because you're not hearing a whole lot from them on that. But if you look up any creationist versus evolution debates and things like that, there's Muslims that get into this too. And of course, they're all saying that their God is the only one, and on and on and on. And if you don't agree, you're not a human being, or you're not worthy of it, or you have to be converted and be saved. Saved from what? I don't know. But you have to be saved. And it's just, I just really find this incredibly, dang it. Okay, banging on the phone at the same time, or banging on this table knocked the phone down. Anyway, I just find it incredibly sad, for as advanced as we are, that we're having these kind of religious growing pains, and it's just incredibly pathetic. I don't know how we're going to get past this. I mean, we're doing a lot of struggling to get past this, but you know, I almost feel like we have an uphill battle against us to get people to just think with some common sense. And the way this kid was treated in school is definitely not common sense in any way, shape, or form. Now, I'm trying to get around the edges of these dinky little stars here. Then the other thing I wanted to talk about, you can see I'll zoom in a little bit. You can see the pattern that I'm working on. That's just something I came up with the different tools. Anyway, the other thing I wanted to talk about, Lilokin did a video on Christian Wicca, and I agree with him that there is no such thing. You can be a Christian witch. You can't be a Christian pagan. Those things just don't mesh together. But I think what these people are looking for, you know, they're trying to come up with, our religion is a blanket, and we're accepting of a lot of different philosophies, and we have a lot of eclectics and people that blend together and everything. And that's fine, but they're trying to make new titles out of all of this stuff. And Christian Wicca, as Lilokin said, the philosophies don't even mesh together. And I just wanted to bring up a really, really good point. If you are Wiccan, and you look at one of the major tenets of our religious practice and beliefs, is harm none. Okay? So if you're doing harm none, do as thou will, now take a look at the deity that you are following. And this, for a while, I was a Christian witch. I mean, I tried to mesh the two together, and it ended up being a walk on my path to where I'm at now as a full-blown pagan. You can try and get the two together, but what you're running into is a deity problem. In the harm none philosophy, Yahweh is an extremely jealous God. He is an extremely angry God. He's genocidal. He punishes at the drop of a hat, essentially. He, supposedly for being all-knowing, he set us up pretty good for the fall of Adam and Eve to begin with. And this is a pretty malicious deity, and the reason why is because originally he was a desert war god. He was not an all-loving, soul god. He was part of a pantheon. He was known as the god of the mountains to the Hebrews, and they were polytheistic at the time when Yahweh came to being. So they still have, like, the stories in the Bible and stuff are from that war god. And that's why they're not meshing with what a lot of modern Christians are trying to put together. So, to me, the ultimate, most unbelievable thing is that, here you have this God who, set us up so that we were going to take some spiritual damage, so to speak, and we were going to be hurt by him because he put the tree of knowledge in the garden. Dang it. And set us up for a massive fall. And then he blames us for it. And the way to fix it, of course, is to have this child, which of course is based on the same principles and the same stories as Heracles and Mithras and all sorts of other ones, Dionysus, and these virgin-born half-human demigods that were birthed to help save mankind in one way or another. Jesus is a retelling of a lot of those tales, but if you look at the deity and the structure of that pantheon in itself, here you run into a problem. He was created specifically to be killed. And not only to be killed, but to be tortured and killed by his own father. Because his father set all of this up. So, how do you mesh that with the Wiccan Rede and with the threefold law? How do you mesh harm none with a deity like that when he is the only deity in the pantheon? If he's willing to do that to his own child, and if he's willing to take his own creation and violently decimate everything in this great flood, and later on he's going to supposedly do it again and destroy the world again because we still haven't met his expectations, and we're all going to go to hell because we don't believe in Jesus, but we can do whatever else because, we just say we're forgiven, we're fine. This deity is messed up. And to mix him with Wicca just does not meld. Where does the harm none come in on this? Because this is a deity that's going to turn around and harm you anyway. Other pantheons, there's deities for protection, there's deities for the hearth, there's all of this stuff. But there's no defense against Yahweh. Because even if you mess up and you do believe in his son, you're still screwed. And then as the most Christians try to blame it on Satan, and they've created Satan as their god of evil, and, you know, have taken him from older, darker forces, but they try to blame everything on that. And Wicca is supposed to be about personal responsibility. So where, if you're blaming this on Satan, as a lot of Christians are, you know, and you believe the modern stuff about the fall and everything else, and why it happened and all of that, that pantheon's very mixed up because Yahweh set it all up to begin with. And there is no personal responsibility there, which Wicca is about personal responsibility. We're supposed to work with our gods, not be slaves to our gods, not be kowtowing to them. And even in the Egyptians, the gods originally were human. They ascended. So basically, they're our brothers and sisters. That's why we work with them. So how could you go and have those two together? Once I became Wiccan, I no longer was Christian. There was no semblance of Christianity left in me at that point. Once I took the vows to become Wiccan, and I did the ceremony at home, and yeah, I followed Silver Ravenwolf's guidelines at the time, and I did it, and I did a blood oath. And that's it. I was past. I mean, I still talk to Christ at times when I need to. I call him the Redeemer and the Protector, because he died trying to protect humanity from his own father. So yeah, I mean, there's times I still talk to him, but I'm full-fledged pagan. It's such an odd mix, and it doesn't make any sense to say that you're a Christian Wiccan. To say you're a Christian witch, yeah, there's Jewish witches, there's Muslim witches, there's Christian witches. I mean, they're all over the place. But they're witches. They're not Wiccan. And those are two different things. So just food for thought there. I'm not getting any leather tooling done tonight. As you can see, the cat's sitting in front of the camera. Actually, he's under the camera. So you got a good view of his back. Thankfully, not a view of his butt, which he likes to show to the camera. That's my Oscar. There he goes. So, yeah. There's Oscar, being helpful, as always. Got a good zoom in. He's got such a pretty face. This mama's boy. Yeah. So, anyway, just my thoughts. Blessed be everybody.